Hey everybody, I hope everybody's having a good day today. If you haven't watched my last upload before this one, you might want to watch it first before you watch this upload, because I think the two tie in together. I had a dream Thursday night, and I've been holding on to this one for a while because I've been doing some research on it, trying to figure out exactly what it means. I don't like posting a lot of my dreams. I have dreams quite often. Most of the time they're just for me. But the last one I had to share, and this one here I want to share because I want some help trying to interpret it. The information I found out so far on it has kind of blown my mind. But I want to share this one with you guys, and like I say, I could use some help on this one. I know there's a lot of duality in it. There was a lot of duality in my last dream. But I'm going to go ahead and start. I just, in this dream, I was in an old hospital, and I was in a hallway, and I noticed my oldest uncle coming down the hallway in my direction, and he had lost his mind. He was insane, and he was naked. He was exposed. And I immediately went up to him with a coat, and I covered him. And I set him down on a bench to the right of me, and I sat down in the middle of the bench. And when I sat down, I looked to my left, and I noticed my other uncle. This other uncle, he retired from the phone company. So when I woke up, I knew that he represented a messenger, or someone that was trying to communicate something to me, an angel or something. I don't know. But he asked me, he says, "Do you know where Solomon's lost gold is? Do you think it's in the sea?" I looked down, I said, I don't know, I don't have any idea. And as soon as I said that, I immediately left that scene, and I went to another scene, and I was outside. And there was a man chopping wood. I couldn't see his face. And all he said to me was, "Here's 33 at 400 and 450. And I woke up. You guys know how I am with numbers, so I've put these numbers through my head, a million different combinations. I was trying to figure out what they meant. But I knew right away that the number 33 had something to do with the 33rd parallel. I just knew that it didn't have anything to do with Jesus' age or anything else like that. I knew it was the 33rd parallel. So Saturday morning I drive to Dallas to visit my son, and when I got there, I told him about my dream. And as soon as I told him those numbers, both of us at about the same time, it dawned on us that those numbers are coordinates on a map. Now, I'm not saying we found Solomon's lost gold or anything, but I'm going to leave the coordinates in the box below, so you can put them on Google Earth and it'll take you to where it took me. But we put these coordinates in on Google Earth, and I was expecting to wind up in Nebraska or Ohio, Indiana, or the middle of the ocean somewhere. I was blown away whenever it took me where it took me. I know God was talking to me and trying to show me something. Where it took me was just northeast of Baghdad, Iraq, off an old ancient trade route, in the middle of a field, in the middle of nowhere. But this old ancient trade route was called the King's Highway, and it was also nicknamed Way of the Sea. And my uncle had asked me if his lost gold was in the sea. So I start researching this old King's Highway, and it went from Egypt all the way through Israel, through Syria, through Iran, Iraq, even up into Europe. And King David and King Solomon used that route to bring in their goods and their treasures. So I started researching, trying to figure out, trying to see where maybe this King's Highway or the Way of the Sea was mentioned in the Bible. And it's mentioned in Isaiah chapter 9. And I'd recommend that you read all of Isaiah chapter 9, but I'm just going to read from a few verses. Isaiah chapter 9 is where the coming of the Messiah is prophesied. But I'm going to read from verses 1 and 2 first, because it mentions the way of the sea, the trade route, the King's Highway, and it also mentions something in verse 2 that has something to tie in with my last dream. But it says, "Nevertheless, there will be no more gloom for those who are in distress. In the past, he humbled the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, but in the future he will honor Galilee of the Gentiles by the way of the sea, the King's Highway, along the Jordan. The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of the shadow of death, a light has dawned." And verse 2 I know ties in with my last dream, and it also ties in with Revelations 1 verses 14 through 18. But now I'm going to read from verse 6, and it says, For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, and Prince of Peace. Now I'm going to read from 9 and 10, and I believe this has something to do, well, I'm going to read it first. It says, all the people will know it, Ephraim and the inhabitants of Samaria, who say with pride and arrogance of heart, the bricks have fallen down, but we will rebuild with dressed stone, and the fig trees have been felled, but we will replace them with cedars. I think this has something to do with the harbinger from 9/11, and from whenever they placed the steel beam that President Obama had signed, where he quoted from this, I believe, and that beam was put into the new World Trade Center, where he says, "We will rebuild." So I think there's a lot of duality in what this is saying. Whether or not Solomon's lost gold is in a field in the middle of nowhere, just northeast of Baghdad in Iraq, I don't know. Gold and treasures don't mean anything to me anymore. I'm not going up there with a shovel and pick to dig for anything. I'm not going to lose my head over some gold. If anybody decides to go up there, though, and you do find some gold, send some my way. I'd like to open up a homeless shelter here with a drug counseling center. It would help me out a lot. But I wanted to share that with you guys, and see if maybe you could interpret a little bit of what that might mean, if there's some more meaning in it that you could find. I don't like posting dreams because I know there's so much duality in them, and a lot can be read into them. But this one here really intrigued me, especially whenever those coordinates took me to Iraq. So anyway, I'll leave those coordinates in the box below so you can check it out and you can do your own research on it. It's pretty wild. Anyway, I love you all. God bless.